Dragon Source, sexiest man alive, alien slayer, demon slayer, superhero, and we're live on Noir. Let's go. So, this video is about synchronicities. It's going to be explaining to you what synchronicities are, why they happen, and how to interpret them. Now, there's a light side and a dark side to synchronicities. I'm going to explain both because you don't truly know what force or entity or deity or God, whatever you want to call it, created that synchronicity. You can only look at the outcome. All right, what's the outcome and what is my intuition telling me? Right? It's good omens and bad omens, right? Same thing. Omens are synchronicities. So, you might be seeing 111, 222, 1111, 777, 666. It doesn't even have to be that. It could be 123. It could be any random number. 259. Maybe you just keep seeing 259. That'd be unusual, but it could happen. All right. So, what are all these numerical synchronicities about? Go into the numbers first. So, it's basically just the universe giving you a cosmic wink of what frequency or timeline you are currently on, or what phase in the cycle of your life you're on. Because it's all these mini cycles, right? We're on a solar cycle, we're on a lunar cycle, right? New moon to full moon, right? We all have individual cycles in our own life, right? So you might be at the point of your cycle where you're on 555 and it's time to do a transition, right? Or you might be on the 999, time to wrap up a cycle, right? Let me explain to you what these numbers mean. Now, it's important to note with synchronicities that it's different for everyone. Like, it's no one size fits all. It's just the universe communicating to you in a formula that is unique to you, that only you can perfectly understand what it means to you. So you have to use your own intuition, connect to your heart center to access your intuition, right? You can use the mind to heart drop to do that, which I'll do at the end of the video, like I do at the end of every video. Okay, so first of all, what is 111? What is the frequency of 1? Frequency of 1 is new beginnings, the self. It's kind of like Aries energy if you want to correlate it with astrology, right? It's new beginnings. Exciting new times, right? It's time to start a new project. It's time to do something new. It's time to take a new direction. It's time to stand in your individuality and go do what you need to do. That's the energy of 1. The starting point. The energy of 2, give you guys a better view here. The energy of 2 is specifically about relationships, relating, right? The 1 splits off into 2. The mirror, it's looking at itself, or it's looking at itself reflected back to itself, right? It's like, or it could be you and another person. Just basically has to do with diplomacy, relating. 2 things that need to figure out how to balance the energy between them. Relationships, essentially. Number 3, that is basically frequency of 3. Has to do with communication. You could also look at it as the Holy Trinity, right? It's a completion. It's like things tend to come in 3s, right? It's like a cycle. It's a completion, right? So it's like all the components. You have a man, you have a woman, they come together and make a child, right? The child is like the 3. So the 1 is like the man, the 2 is like the woman, and the 3 is like the child, right? Sperm to egg to child. So 3 is basically like some kind of a completion. But it also has to do with communication. If you want to correlate that with astrology, you can look at it as like Mercury energy, Gemini type energy. The number 4 you could also kind of look at in that light. The number 4 has to do with building structures, right? It's a 4. It's a box. You can lay a foundation with it. 4, it's more mental. It's more intellectual. It's like it's asking you to pay more attention to your thoughts. That's what the number 4 is. That's what it means to me anyway, in my school of thought. But like I said, it's individual to everyone. Frequency, the number 5. Fives have to do with transitioning or transformation, possibly weathering a rough storm, kind of like this river. It's like water flowing along, right? It's like travel, possibly roadblocks, possibly obstacles. It's like, kind of think of it as like a stormy ocean. That's kind of how I think of the number 5. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like chaos that can create a new, beautiful beginning, right? Number 6 has to do with balance and also sex. 6, sex. 6, sex. 6, sex. You see? So frequency of 6 has to do with sex, which is just two parties exchanging energy with each other, right? And it also has to do with balance, right? If you want to go into, 666 is demonic and devilish, this is the esoteric meaning behind 666. It has to do with carbon, right? If you look at the periodic table of elements, the carbon is the sixth element in the periodic table, right? It's 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons, right? That's what the 666 is. So the carbon is the building block of life, most life forms on this planet. You know, all the organic life forms, not the alien life forms that don't have a spirit, like an octopus or a freaking black widow or something. It's carbon-based life, right? So 666 just means carbon. Which is, they associate that with the beast because it's the flesh, right? That's the building block of physical life, the beast, right? The carnality, cut off from the spirit. Okay, so that's all it means at an esoteric level. Take all the freaking spookism out of it. Okay, it just means to prioritize the flesh rather than their own spirit. That's why Satanists like that number. But you could use 666 in an angelic way. You could have a beautiful type of sex and bring a whole new being into the world. That is angelic. Okay, it's up to you how you want to use that energy. 777 is angelic energy, right? Seven main planets. That's why there's 7 days of the week, right? It's also a kind of a completion of a cycle in itself, right? God made the world in 7 days or whatever, or in 6 days. On the 7th day, He rested. So 7 is a very angelic, divine number. It's associated with a divine messenger. When you're seeing 777 in your life, it typically means that you have some high level thoughts going on, or some kind of higher beings might be helping steer you in a more angelic direction in your life. So pay attention. It could also mean like you have a divine message or a divine thought or a divine idea that it's time for you to push out into the world. So 777. 7 is basically the number of the divine messenger. Number 8, or an angel, right? Number 8 has to do with time, business. It's almost like the number 4 times 2, right? It's kind of like more building blocks, time, money. You could look at 888 as associated with business and money. It's kind of like, what time are you on? Angel time or demon time? It's kind of like, how are you going to hold it down? Like, how are you going to hold down the fort? It's like a gateway to abundance is a good word. It can be a gateway to abundance, right? Material prosperity. That's how I look at 8, but it can mean something different to you. Like I said, 999. What does that mean? Nines are associated with the end of a cycle, right? Because it's only 9 numbers, excluding 0, which is just not any particular number. 0 is just a space. It's just devoid of any particular frequency. It just expands or multiplies the frequency of the all. It's just an empty space. You could look at 0 as the void. That it's an empty space that'll expand whatever number it's on. So 1, put a 0 on the end. 10, boom, it's just 1 amplified, right? So the number 9, is associated with the end of a cycle, right? So if you're getting 999, you're at the end of a cycle. You're at the end of a cycle in your life, and probably like one final lesson you got to learn, one last thing you got to do. The universe usually make it obvious, serve it up on a platter for you, exactly what you want, what you need to do, give you the synchronicity, the meetup, the whatever it needs to be to close that chapter of your life and fully transmute that energy to close that cycle. Because like I said, we're all living in little cycles in our life. Okay, so you're seeing 999s. It's time to wrap up whatever loose ends that are preventing you from fully stepping forward into the next phase of your life. You can also look at 999 alternatively as more of a humanitarian number, like, yeah, I'm at the end of my journey, I already did my thing, now it's time to step back and help other people. Kind of like a hermit or a sage type of number. Now, I just broke down the whole number system for you. Now we need to go into why the universe sends you specific numbers or specific frequencies, which, like I said, the numbers just tell you what frequency or timeline or phase of the timeline that you are on right now. Just a cosmic wink to you, nudging you in whatever direction you need to go in, ideally. Now, there can be a nefarious aspect to it, the dark side of synchronicities, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So on the light side of synchronicities, you could say, all right, it's the karmic system of the universe, the laws of Ma'at, the scale, trying to balance itself out, trying to help you balance your karma, do it exactly what you need to do when you need to do it. Okay? Give you guys an alternate view right here. So look at it as a benevolent aspect, helping you balance your karma, right? You could also look at it as the mirror effect of reality, right? As within, so without, just reflecting back synchronicities outside of you, or just reflecting back to you your internal state of being, what you're going through inside yourself right now. Now, on the nefarious aspect of it, for using particularly numbers, it could just mean that it's the way an alien race that is mind controlling you is validating that they are, in fact, successfully mind controlling you. I'll give you an example. Say you're driving along in your car and you weren't looking at the clock, you weren't concerned with the time the whole time, but for whatever reason you just get the thought, oh, I should check the time. You just do it. Maybe it's impulsively like that. You don't even register it as a thought. You just think to check the time, just on autopilot. Oh, 11:11. Now you think, oh, look, divine synchronicities. In that scenario, it's more likely that the aliens are just like, all right, we put a program in there. Let's test it to see if he notices that. See if he notices that number to prove that we can, in fact, manipulate his reality and his mindset as we please, right? So that's what that example is. So it's very important to look at how these synchronicities occurred in your life in an angelic or a demonic way. If it's something undeniably put in front of you, like you're just walking down the street, not looking at your clock or anything, and someone just happens to be on their phone having a conversation next to you, and like you don't even know this person, total stranger, you're just walking by them, maybe you're at their bus station or whatever, and they just they're having a phone conversation. They say, oh yeah, it was $111, and you say to yourself, okay, the universe is winking at me right now, I'm on the 111 timeline right now. Okay, that's an angelic synchronicity. When you just happen to randomly check your clock, like impulsively, and you just happen to see, oh, it's 2:22. Oh, it's 5:55 p.m. That's the alien control matrix. So it's two very different energies. And karma is actually in itself part of an alien control matrix, but at least it's kind of trying to nudge you along in the right direction to make your life better through the cycles and phases of your life, because you are a beautiful season. Right, you cycle through the seasons. You're the whole planet really inside yourself, and you cycle through the seasons, right? So, yeah, two different energies there. Now, I gotta start walking back to my car. It's time to go. It's time to go. So, what other forms of synchronicities can there be? There can be the omens, basically, right? Like, let's say that you're always seeing freaking sunflowers. All right, you always see sunflowers, and that always precedes manifesting a relationship. That's just how the program got made. Who knows how it started? You know, maybe you were having sex with a woman that got sunflowers tattooed on her, and then since then, sunflower energy has just been following you around whenever you're thinking about sex or a relationship or whatever. And it's like, wow, universe just keeps throwing that energy signature in my face. That's ridiculous. Like, I see it in the strangest places, right? Like, maybe, for an example, right, you're trying to manifest another relationship with a similar type of woman because that old relationship ended, one with the woman with sunflowers that got tattooed on her when you were together, right? And then so you're trying to manifest another sunflower. You're just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna roll with it at this point. All right, I'm gonna be the wizard here. Fuck it, bring me more sunflowers, universe. Do whatever ritual, mantra you feel the need to put yourself in the state of being of a new relationship, specific kind of woman, right? So then maybe the sunflower means to you like alchemy. Like, yeah, it was you know, it was a dark time in that breakup, but at the end of the day, you know, the love was worth it, and I want to experience that again, right? So maybe like that's what you associate sunflowers with, like a transmutation of energy. So then you would go manifest your sunflower, and then maybe another type of woman who maybe you found manifested another type of woman. You know, you're talking to her, just met her, trying to get her phone number, and you'd happen to notice that she has a birthmark, and over that birthmark, she tattooed a sunflower, and you're just like, what the hell? Like, how? Like, reality. All right, I'm clearly living in a dream realm because this shit is too magic right here. So, you're like, okay, wow. A birthmark, and birthmarks are basically cancer energy that the body has contained, right? Darkness. They're literally dark. And she tattooed a sunflower over it, which means she made a love out of the chaos, right? She made something beautiful out of something that most people would consider ugly. Like, wow, that's the energy of the sunflower, and that kind of energy is what I was looking for to manifest another relationship. And there it is, thrown right in my face in physical form when I was doing the physical walking ritual like a wizard to manifest another relationship with that specific kind of woman. And you're just like, wow, just wow. Just wow. Magic is real. Mind over matter. Wizard all day. And that's just one specific example. Could be hypothetical, could not be. Up to you to decide how good my imagination is. So, now let's look at the dark side of omens. Say, take that example, and you keep seeing sunflowers. The universe is just throwing it in your face and taunting you with it. Like, all these dates you're getting are just keeps on falling through, and it's just more sunflowers and skulls, skeletons, like death energy. Like, okay, she's wearing sunflowers on a black background. All right, she's wearing sunflowers. She's got a skull on her backpack. All right, I see sunflower right there. Just synchronistically, I just happened to look over, and there's a big a painting on the wall that is sunflowers in a place I've never expected to see it, in a doctor's office or whatever. But then in the doctor's office, guess what? How you doing? It's a skull. It's a big human mannequin skeleton skull. Yeah, it's a skeleton in the doctor's office for them to break down how anatomy works to you or whatever, just to give you an example. And you're just like, wow. Now the universe is just taunting me, throwing it in my face, just giving me all this death energy associated with sunflowers. Freaking geez, you freaking demon. What did my ex do to me? Oh, what kind of energy am I stuck in? Yeah, you gotta be careful who you have sex with. That can really impact your timeline of your life. Okay, it's more than just physically, like spiritually. You literally, right? Your energy signature, your spirit, your aura. That's what creates your timeline for you. So if you're mixing your energy body, your energy field with someone else, now your frequency is all skewed in with theirs, and it's a whole new energy signature altogether. The energy is now stored in your body. it's going to greatly impact your timeline. So you can have sex to do magical things and birth new, beautiful, angelic realities, or it could be a curse, right? Your X is your hex, right? And X is a death. The energy of the X is a transition, a transformation, death, right? So then you get to the point where you're just like, all right, I keep seeing all these sunflowers and skeletons, right? I thought it was a bad thing, but now I see that it's just something that has to die, some kind of stuck energy in me, something I couldn't get over that is now blocking me from living my best life or having another sunflower, metaphorically, right? Of another, beautiful woman of a specific kind for a relationship, right? So in this example, okay, hypothetically, all right, so now you're just like, all right, there's clearly something I need to let go of. So even though it's a demon messing with me and I just can't get the cookie no matter how hard I try, some kind of stuck energy in my field I need to purge, this omen, the synchronicity, it's still a good thing even if a demon is sending it, because it's throwing it right in your face, the exact energy you need to work on within yourself, right? Like I said, the whole universe is a mirror, right? As within, so without. You manifest your timeline based on your energy stored in your energy field, right? So if you really want to change your life, you got to change your energy. You got to heal your energy field, your aura, right? Quantum healing, right? The best way to shift your aura, your state of being, your energy is emotions, right? Emotions are the driving force that actually creates manifestation, right? So say you're vibrating really, really high, like, yes, all right, I'm vibrating super high. Yes, love and light, everyone. I'm feeling super inspired. I'm gonna go change the whole world. And now you're just like seeing 1111 777. You're just like, yes, God is talking to me. Well, it's just the universe reflecting back at you your own energy, because the higher you raise your vibration is the more you're going to manifest synchronicities in your life. It's going to accelerate the rate of synchronicities. Or if you're really trying to do something with the full heart of intent, then the universe has to keep on throwing synchronicities at you to guide you toward your goal or desired outcome, or tell you what the blockage is, right? So synchronicities can be sent by an angel or a demon, but either way, it's still going to tell you the energy pattern that you are currently in. So once you start seeing different synchronicities, different numbers showing up in your life, different omens, different symbols, then you know you've successfully transmuted your old energy, and you're on to the next phase of your life cycle, right? Because like I said, everything comes in cycles. Spiraling manifestation of all life, right? The Fibonacci series, right? The spiral starting point goes out like that, wider, 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 right? So it cycles, and every time it goes through the cycle, it expands a little bit, which is what is happening to our consciousness, right? Every time you go through a cycle in your life, every time the sun comes all the way back around and it's summer again, kind of in the same place you were last time, seasonally, feeling good because the sun's out, but this time you have a little more wisdom. And that is the essence of life in a nutshell. That's what synchronicities are. Like I said, synchronicities are custom tailor-made to every individual unique spirit, and you need to use your own intuition and discernment to figure out what the synchronicity or omen means to you. Okay, and how do you do that? You got to get into your heart, which means you have to drop into your heart center. How do you do that? The Mind to Heart Drop, invented by Ron Amatron. Look him up. He has a YouTube channel, RON space AMITRON. Okay, the modern Christ. So this is how you do it. I now command my spirit to take all the thoughts in my head, drop them into my heart, and make me totally real. And you can add on the Creation Lightship New Earth timeline of 10,000 subscribers for Source On. It's done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See, my state of being just shifted from more frenetic mental energy to more heart-centered, calm, peaceful energy. All right, that's the way to be. That's when you tap into the new earth frequency, and you're going to start manifesting things more easily once you start manifesting from your heart. Okay? Just a side note, your frequency is actually, you can't change your frequency at your core. Your core essence of your spirit is stuck on one frequency. That's how the universe registers you as a separate entity, as your own spirit, like who you are for all time is your core frequency. You can't change that. But you can